loud bang jolted me out of my sleep. Within seconds, seawater was pouring into the cabin. I jumped to my feet to check and saw a massive hole torn in the hull. There was no time to think. I rushed up to the deck only to be stunned by what I saw. A huge shipping container had slammed into my boat, wedging it so tightly that I couldn't move at all. I forced myself to stay calm. First, I took down the sails to stop the boat. Then I grabbed a sturdy iron bar and tried to pry the container away from the hull. No matter how hard I pushed, it didn't move an inch. I ran back to the cabin for the sea anchor, tied its rope to one corner of the container, and threw it into the water. As the anchor sank, the container finally pulled free from my boat. But the danger wasn't over. Water was still gushing through the hole. I found a wooden box, mixed some adhesive from the materials inside, spread it evenly around the crack, and pressed fiber sheets over it to try to make it watertight. I pumped the cabin dry by hand, then hooked a battery up to the radio to send out a distress signal. But the radio was flooded. It was dead. By nightfall, the sky was covered in dark clouds, a sure sign the storm was coming. I went back to the cabin, pulled on my raincoat, and returned to the deck, hoping to steer toward a safer area. Then a giant wave came out of nowhere and threw me straight into the sea. I clung to the railing for dear life and somehow hauled myself back aboard. But my heart sank. The storm had snapped the mast in half. I had no choice but to cut the ropes and let the broken sail drift away. Back in the cabin, the violent rocking threw me off balance. I smashed my head against a post and blacked out instantly. I don't know how long I was out. When I woke, I saw with horror that a new crack had opened in the hull. Water was flooding in fast. The water level kept rising. It wouldn't be long before the entire yacht went under. I had to abandon her, so I climbed into the life raft and decided to wait out the storm. By morning, the storm had passed. I anxiously unzipped the raft's cover and saw my yacht still floating. Relieved, I climbed back aboard, but the sight that greeted me made my heart drop to the bottom of the sea. In just one night, the cabin was completely flooded. There was no saving her now. I made the painful choice to let her go. Wading into the flooded cabin, I dug through the cupboards for cans of food, anything that might buy me more time to survive. If you enjoyed this movie, follow me. I'll post part 2 soon.